Hello everyone. This video presents a notable event that happened on each day from the past week in history. On October 20th, 1827, an international coalition of British, French, and Russian ships defeated a fleet of Turkish, Ottoman, and Egyptian ships in the Battle of Navarino, the last major naval battle fought by wooden sailing ships. Part of the Greek War of Independence, Navarino pitted 1,252 naval guns spread across 10 ships of the line, 10 frigates, 2 schooners, 4 sloops, and 1 cutter on the European side against the Ottoman fleet of 2,158 guns dispersed among 3 ships of the line, 17 frigates, 30 corvettes, 5 schooners, 28 brigs, and 5 or 6 fire ships. Of the 8,000 Allied crewmen, only 181 were killed and 480 were wounded, while the Ottoman contingent of 20,000 sailors suffered 4,000 killed and wounded and another 4,000 captured. What was the greatest naval battle of all time? On October 21st, 2021, film actor Alec Baldwin fired a single shot from a movie prop pistol on the set of Rust, a movie being filmed at the Bonanza Creek Ranch in New Mexico. Sadly, Helena Hutchins, a Ukrainian cinematographer involved in the film, was struck and killed by the bullet fired by Baldwin. The tragic incident appeared to have been an accident, although at this time we still are not sure how a live round ended up in a prop gun that should only have blank rounds either in the pistol or on the set. Baldwin and the set armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed that had handed Baldwin the loaded gun were charged with manslaughter. First Assistant Director David Halls was allowed to plead guilty to negligent use of a deadly weapon. Charges against Baldwin were later dropped, but Gutierrez Reed still faces charges, including a charge of tampering with evidence. Multiple lawsuits are pending. On October 22, 2012, cyclist Lance Armstrong was stripped of his 7 Tour de France titles due to allegations of illegally using performance-enhancing drugs. Armstrong had won the greatest bicycle race in 7 consecutive years, a record performance. After years of accusations and allegations of cheating, Lance, who had denied the reports, was banned for life after an investigation and eventually told the truth, admitting his cheating. Other famous athletes accused of or admitted PED users include baseball's Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Alex Rodriguez, Jose Canseco, and Manny Ramirez, football's Josh Gordon, Mark Ingram, Bill Romanowski, and DeAndre Hopkins, and others such as Arnold Schwarzenegger, Marion Jones, Ben Johnson, and Anderson Silva. As a question for my students and subscribers, should athletes be allowed to use PEDs? On October 23, 2022, the Air Force of Myanmar conducted a bombing raid with a few fighter bombers against a music concert. At least 80 civilians were killed in an incident called a massacre. Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, has been undergoing a civil war since a military coup took over the government in 2021. The junta government claimed the air raid was against a military post of the rebel independence organization KIO and that no civilians were targeted or killed. The large crowd present at the bombing disagrees with that claim. Performers and concert-goers were killed, and deaths among KIO personnel that were at the concert also took place, while unknown numbers of people were injured. International response was immediate, but impotent as usual, with the UN condemning the bombing, Japan calling for a halt of violence and holding of elections, and Australia calling for sanctions against the junta government. On October 24, 2017, rock and roll and New Orleans jazz pioneer Antoine Fats Domino died. His 1949 song, The Fat Man, is considered by some to be the first rock and roll hit, selling over 1 million copies. Elvis Presley and the Beatles were fans of Domino, and Fats is not the only great person of considerable girth. Another rock and roller, Chubby Checker, got his stage name from a comparison to Fats Domino. Yet another rock and roll great, Mama Cass Elliot, is enshrined in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and deserves it. Our most rotund U.S. President, William H. Taft, went on to serve as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court after his time as president. Even chubby athletes have achieved success in sports, including basketball's Charles Barkley, known as the Round Mound of Rebound. As a question for my students, who is your favorite fat person? On October 25, 1924, the Daily Mail, a London-based British newspaper, published a fake letter called the Zinoviev letter, a letter said to be from Grigory Zinoviev, a Moscow-based leader of the Communist International. The letter was a fake and intentionally presented to sway public opinion against the Labour Party in Britain's 1924 elections. The fake letter was successful in stoking anti-communist public hysteria and getting the Conservative Party a victory in the elections. While calling the media fake news is often seen as a conspiracy theory ploy used by one side or the other, the fact is that false news accounts have been used for centuries in order to mold public opinion toward a desired end. Examples include yellow journalism using sensational stories in 1898 to whip up war fever in the U.S. against Spain, and recently falsely portraying Iraq as having WMDs in 2003. On October 26, 1979, Kim Jae-kyu, the head of the South Korean CIA, assassinated the country's president, Park Chung-hee. The president died on the spot of gunshot wounds to the chest and head. One pervasive conspiracy theory regarding the assassination of U.S. President John F. Kennedy is that the American CIA was somehow involved. While such theories are usually treated as forays into fiction, the assassination of the South Korean president by his own CIA show that the idea might not be all that far-fetched. Director Kim used a Walter PPK to shoot his president, but the gun jammed, and the assassin then used a Smith & Wesson .38 revolver to finish the job. Kim and his supporters were later arrested and executed after being tortured. Do you think the U.S. CIA had anything to do with JFK's assassination? If not, who was really responsible? As a question for my students and subscribers, which event from this past week in history would you most like to learn more about? Please let me know in the comment section below this video. If you liked this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History in Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated. For image, audio, and other credits and attributions for components of the individual videos in this compilation, please see the descriptions of their respective videos, which are linked to in this video's description.